Hey, what's up guys? Omar here, broker and CEO of Alden Mortgage and Ome Realty. So gas prices are just insane. They're going up faster than I could even think about. I'm about to go get myself a little electric scooter or just start riding on the bikes, and I know you're all in the same boat, and it sucks. Okay, so what's actually going to be happening, and what are they actually trying to do? Well, they're trying to go ahead and release more oil. Is this really a solution? Now, in hindsight, it's really not a solution, because what is it going to do? Right now, currently, we're sitting at about 580 billion or 580 million. We're sitting at 580 million barrels, which is not a lot. It's super low. I mean, the number does sound like a lot, but if you take it into consideration of how many barrels of oil that we use every single day, which I think is about 20 to 25 million barrels every single day, what is it really going to do, right? It's going to count. So they're like, okay, we're going to go ahead and tap into our reserves. We're going to tap into our reserves, and that's going to bring it down a couple of cents a gallon. Like, what? Why even bother? It doesn't even make any sense. For a couple of cents, it's just keep the reserves. Don't even bother messing with the reserves, because it's only going to account for a couple of cents on the dollar. And this was actually intended for if we go to war, or if we get any type of pipeline shutdowns, or if our distributors from wherever we get it from like, the Saudis or wherever we get it from. Like, if we go ahead and get completely cut off, at least we'll have something on our reserve that's stateside to go ahead and account for the loss of gas that we will go ahead and have. Well, then you're like, okay, then the part two, they're gonna go ahead and suspend gas tax, okay? Then they're talking about, suspending tax gas. Now, whenever you're talking about gas, as everybody knows, well, and if you don't know, now you know, that there's just not one tax, okay? There's going to be your taxes that the federal government pops on to it. Then you have your local government, your local taxes that you have. Then you have your state taxes that's entwined with gas. Here in California, we're completely like, man, we take a beating as far as gas goes. I think it's New York is one of them. Florida is one of them. Your big, highly populated states that use a lot of these crude oils. They're the ones that go ahead and take the biggest hits when it comes to taxes. Now, is this going to be something that's going to kind of alleviate the price of gas? Now, to understand how much it is, it's only going to be at the federal level, right? So if it's at the federal level, it's like 18.5 cents minus on gas, which is a lot, but is it really going to do anything in the long run? And in the long run, it's really not going to do much, because is the savings actually going to get passed down to the, like you and I, right? The consumers. Is it going to really see us? No, it's not. And then plus that 18.4 cents per gallon that we go ahead and get a savings on, which is not going to be the 18.5 cents or whatever it is, that is actually going to discredit how much money we're able to go ahead and put into roads and let's just face it, they drag their feet on most of that stuff anyway, and it sucks, and it's terrible. And if you don't believe me, just go drive downtown LA for a little bit, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Or if you go to San Francisco, or you go to certain parts of San Diego. Orange County, on the other hand, Orange County has some good roads. Orange County, I don't know what they do and how they do things. Maybe I should have just got into politics and try to see exactly how these bills get passed. Maybe that was my fault in the grand scheme of things. Maybe I should have made a career choice of not being in real estate and being in, well, whatever. Then we have a gasoline stimulus check. A gasoline stimulus check. Okay, that sounds like an all right idea, but what is that really going to do in the grand scheme of things? It's just like, when you're thinking about all the stimulus getting dumped in, and then the government trying to always step in and say, okay, we're going to go ahead and save, well, sooner or later, you're going to have to pay the piper. Sooner or later, we're all going to have to go ahead and account for that loss that we're going to just keep dumping in. Like, for instance, this back in 2 years that they had the pandemic unemployment assistance or emergency, whatever it is, and then the rental assistance, and then this assistance, and that assistance. And after all these assistance are done, then what's going to happen at the end of it? What are we going to be paying? Like 60% tax? What are we going to be, like a socialist country where we're just going to be taxed and everybody's going to be on a standard platform, like paycheck, where everybody's just going to make the same exact amount, because the taxes are just going to be so astronomical, it's going to be so insane that, like, what are you going to do at the end of it? Then the last is going to be gas vouchers. Gas vouchers to go ahead and help. Now, all of these are going to go ahead and assist us and to go, just to kind of cover the cost of how bad these taxes are. But that's going to be for us. Now, the bad part is how is this going to account for one of the biggest, most hardworking people out there? Is going to be truck drivers, Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, anybody that has to deal with any type of transportation. If truck drivers have to go ahead and increase their prices, that means the cost of goods are going to go ahead and go up because we have to account for it. If Uber has to go ahead and Uber and Lyft, they do a lot of this transportation from getting you to point B, point A. You're drunk at the bar, you need to go ahead and get somewhere. For instance, I try to go ahead and I flew in from San Jose into Burbank, and from Burbank to my house is 16.8 miles. 16.8 miles, get this, and I'm not even making this up. The Uber cost on that was going to be $258 for me to get 16.8 miles on a Monday. Maybe it was like high time, I have no idea, but I was like, when I saw it, I was like, forget this, I'm not paying $258 to get 16.8 miles back to my house. Now, these are all costs that you're going to have to go ahead and absorb. And then the cost of goods, your groceries, everything that you go ahead and buy on a daily basis, everything is just going to start increasing. So do these gas vouchers, these stimuluses, and all this stuff really makes sense. Let's go ahead and release more oil. We're just depleting a lot of the resources that we have into something that eventually we're going to have to go ahead and pay back. And if we aren't able to pay it back in a timely fashion, and especially now because we've dumped so much that we're trying to recover a lot of those costs, it just sucks. So are any of these four options a really viable option? No, it's not. I don't know what the actual viable option is. Is this going to be something that's going to segue into the mandate of going completely electrical? I have no idea, but I know you're probably watching this video. I'm hurting as far as gas is just as everybody else. Thank God I work from home a lot, because if I was one of you guys that were driving on a daily basis to go to the office, to, especially for those heavy commuters that have to drive maybe an hour to and from work, those are crazy numbers to think about. Well, that's the update. It's still not set in stone. We don't know what's really going to happen, but to keep yourself updated, like, subscribe, comment, hit that little bell notification, and you'll know when the next video comes up. And for up to 50% commission rebate on your next home purchase, 0% listing, and any mortgaging assistance, let me try to beat your big bank, save you as much money as you can, because at the end of the day, this is a financial thing, and I'm trying to go ahead and make sure that you're financially stable as far as anything else goes. When it comes to mortgaging, when it comes to anything that you could possibly imagine, at least I'll try to. Go ahead and let me know. All that stuff is in the link description below. Till next video, guys, I really appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.